Late Night on WEEI is brought to you by Brookline Bank.
Time now for EEI Late Night with KJ.
The Patriots now, with Brady, feels like a long time ago. They're irrelevant. I mean, Tom's going to be the only guy that gets two statues. One in New England, one in Tampa. They're irrelevant. They're so bad and Tom's so good, they don't have it. And remember this. And we kind of predicted this. We said, in Boston, the Patriots aren't the Celtics or the Red Sox. They're not even the Bruins. Those teams, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, the Red Sox history, the Celtics, Bill Russell, those teams were dominant in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Even if the Red Sox weren't winning titles, they were such a part of the sport.
Colin Cowherd smoking that Lou Dobbs out there on the West Coast. It's KJ Late Night on WEEI and part of the EEI Sports Radio Network. In my time of dying, Led Zeppelin famously says in that song, don't want nobody to moan. So why is everybody else around the country moaning about the Patriots' one bad season? All I ask for you is to take my body home, Robert Plant says. Well, so I can die. Who's dying? It's one season. Now, if Colin was having a conversation with my 70-year-old dad, yeah, he might be taught. Yeah, Bobby, or absolutely. Russell, I wasn't even born, in fact. I think my parents would have been in trouble if they even thought about me when Russell won his last title. They'd be in trouble. Their parents would get him. That's how young they were. Let's just face it. The New England versus everybody is now everybody versus New England. And who cares? If you have to make your argument based on 50, 60 years ago, I mean, why don't we just throw out remotes, get rid of cell phones, eliminate color television? Is that how far back you have to go to try and put your foot on the neck of Pat's Nation? That's dumb. There's been this talk all this week about the Patriot Way and how Danny Amendola kind of broke one of the rules of Patriot Way Fight Club. And you know what it is? Give me that rock sounder.
You know your damn role.
Yes.
And shut your damn mouth.
Thank you. Know your role and shut your mouth. What are the tenets of the Patriots Way? Number 1, do your job. Number 2, manage expectations. Number 3, go all in for team. Devin McCourty even had to kind of step in there and kind of do a friendly smackdown on Danny Amendola.
Yeah, I think Dola's trying to let people know Tom's greatness. I don't think that came out the correct way at all. I think what he said about the coaches is true. Like, that's what coaching is. It's watching film and putting guys in the best position. And, you know, when I think about the Patriot Way, though, I think about a team. So whether you want to call Tom the best player on the Patriot Way and the leader of it, no doubt about it. But you can't tell me in all of those games and all of these years throughout that the defense and other guys haven't had something to do with that. Everyone puts us in this Brady versus Belichick kind of arena. And I think Dola was really trying to tell people, like, you know, Tom is a great player. And for me, I don't think you have to defend that. He can go win anywhere and really at any moment. The guy's 43 years old. He's playing in another Super Bowl. It's 10th. So his greatness is definitely out there.
Devin McCourty, in a very friendly way, said this.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth. I said, give me the hell yeah.
Crack a couple of beers. Everybody versus New England. So Colin Cowherd, he makes a 70-year-old argument. Yeah, how's your Etzel doing? And then Danny, you know, I was talking about Bill the GM. know your damn role and shut your damn. That's only 9. That's 9 words.
You know your damn
That's
role
right.
and shut your damn mouth.
Look, the Patriot Way isn't a one-person deal. It's not a two-person deal. It's not even Bill, Tom, or Robert Kraft. There's so many people who are part of the mosaic. Over the years, Asante Samuel, or Keeb Talib, or Randy Moss coming here for a little bit, or Teddy Bruschi, or Ted Johnson. I could go on and on. Richard Seymour. How many of those guys have you heard come out and break that code? Knowing your role and shutting your mouth. You know, Mike Lombardi was on OMF, and he kind of bridged that gap of like, look, this isn't Tom versus Bill at all.
I mean, I think it's, it's like I don't understand how people compartmentalize it and separate it. Like, and I think, Danny's probably mad at Bill, the general manager, as opposed to Bill, the coach, because he's talking about money and all that. But for me, what Tom's doing in Tampa, he learned in New England. So how is the coach not important? You think when Tom showed up as a 6th-round pick out of Michigan, that he knew all the situational football, he knew how to practice, he knew how to prepare, he knew all that? I mean, he learned that. I think he's the first to admit it to you. He's a humble man. So this whole notion of who's more important, I've often said this, that Tom has allowed the culture to be built in New England. That's really important. You can't overstate that. And Bill's allowed Bill the culture to come through.
Sorry, I just had a dunk burp. You had the dunk burp. You're like, I've been drinking this coffee too quick. But what he just said was Tom knows his role and shut his mouth. You don't hear a bunch of Tampa players talking. Look at Antonio Brown. 0 incidents. Remember when he was Facebook Living from the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room? That's not happening anymore. Why? Because the Patriot Way says, 1, do your job. 2, manage expectations. And 3, go all in for team. That's why you don't hear former Patriots bashing what is happening or what has happened. But look, yeah, what were you saying? Dylan? Oh, you waved me off? Okay, no worries. I thought you were about to say something. But then you look at other people who have finished their career. Marshall Faulk has spent several years yapping about Bill and the Patriots. And then I started thinking about how DeShaun Watson may actually fit here. But let me get to this first. What Dick Vermeil said, and we'll play it here in a second, is almost kind of like a form of a professional sports dog whistle. Dylan, play what Vermeil said.
What do they do there in Houston with DeShaun?
Well, I think they change his diapers, okay? His contract, nowhere in his contract does it say that he's involved in making the decisions who coaches or who leads the organization. And I think when players get outside the role of what they really are, he's a great NFL football player and always has been a great kid. But I think he just shuts his mouth and becomes a better football player and lead the football team and let the leaders of the organization lead him. I just don't see him playing any place else, and I see him calming down, maturing a little bit, and go be a good football player and earn the money they're paying him.
Dick Vermeil telling somebody else who's not in his organization to shut their mouth and know their role? Oh, come on, Dick Vermeil. Nobody made fun of you. You're a lovable guy. People cheered for you to get well after you quit the Eagles. You said you were exhausted. Nobody came for you. In fact, in a league where black coordinators are having trouble getting head coaching jobs, you got one after 15 years of sitting at home. And you're going to tell some guy to know their role and shut their mouth? Your qualifications for those 15 years? You got better versions of cable at home. So here you go saying you think the Texans should change DeShaun Watson's diaper? He's a boy to you? Did anybody call you a baby? You got that baby effect, Dylan? Did anybody, Dick Vermeil, call you a baby when you broke down in tears over Lawrence Phillips? Yeah, that Lawrence Phillips. Did anybody ask you about changing Leonard Little's diaper after he was convicted of manslaughter? Did you tell them to shut their damn mouth and know their role? Look, Dick Vermeil's 84 years old. I guess the only question is, how old is too old to tell a person, give me that rock drop one more time?
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Dick Vermeil. Brett Favre is another one. Brett Favre, how rich? See, Brett, we know what you did that summer when you played for the Jets. We all know what you did. You're going on and on. In fact, quote, Brett Favre said about DeShaun Watson, you get paid a ton of money to do a certain job and just do it and let the chips fall where they may. Really? Brett, do you realize that a third of all the money you made in your career came in your last 3 years when you weren't playing for the Packers? And you're going to talk about somebody else's money? Oh, I know the Vikings are very happy. Oh, yeah, that's right. You said you were loyal to Green Bay. You ended up at the Vikings out of revenge. In fact, so much so you're damaging Brett Favre that Aaron Rodgers is your twin. You both need to go to counseling together and get to the genesis of where hurt meets hurt. Don't play the baby effect. That's kind of mean. Nah, go ahead, play the baby effect. Both of you. Brett, you were and you still are all about yourself. Both of you running your mouth. Here's Michael Irvin earlier today talking about his issue with Brett Favre.
I'm not standing on high looking down low saying, I can't believe that you made this decision. I'm telling you, I'm right there with you. I can believe it because I made a dumb decision too. Then I'll get into my opinion. When I hear Brett Favre, it's like, Brett, do you not know this is from whence you come? When your team, when your organization didn't go get Randy Moss, you threatened them with the trade. You had Buzz Cook call and say, hey, we want out of here. So how can you forget about all of that stuff when you tell him to just shut up and play, don't try to run a team and just play ball, you make a ton of money? That's exactly what you were doing. You were making a ton of money. And I get on Brett because even the Javon Walker situation, Javon Walker, because you need to come back right now. And Javon Walker came back when he was holding out trying to get his contract. He came back in early because Brett Favre did it in the game, and then he tore up his knee. And I went on the air and said, Brett, are you going to step up and get his man his money now since you running organizations? I just don't like that we're saying you should have no control over your future, even though later on when it's all said and done, we're only going to talk about how horrible you were and not how horrible the organization was in getting talent around you. I think those days are dead and gone.
See, Brett Favre, Dick Vermeil, they don't know their roles, so they feel like they don't have to shut their mouth.
Shut your damn mouth!
Yes, because DeShaun Watson's making $40 million a year. Now you're in your feelings, and you're telling him what to do. You see this all the time. Why are you counting the money in his pocket? Sometimes you even hear what they say about Dak Prescott. Well, you should take less money and get endorsement deals. That's funny. That's funny. You think that advertisers just are going to give you a deal just because you're the quarterback of the Cowboys? It's not that easy. There's still a long way to go. So when Dick Vermeil and Brett Favre blow that little professional athlete dog whistle, well, you make all that money. You should be grateful and shut up. Bet you wouldn't say that if Richard Branson walked in the room. Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett. In fact, you would want them to talk as much as possible. Shut your damn mouth.
Shut your damn mouth.
Please. I'm being nice when I say please, don't I? So back to the Patriot Way. You don't hear that mess coming out of players' mouths. You don't hear them disparage. Even when Tom was going through all of his contractual issues, you did not hear a bunch of players lining up, running their mouth. And so you wonder why a franchise like Green Bay, who's considered the gold standard for the NFL, can't control themselves. Or why someone like Dick Vermeil could literally have a person on his team and he cry for, I want to give Lawrence as many chances to succeed. Lawrence Phillips was a criminal in society and died in prison. Leonard Little was still playing while his case was pending with the DUI for manslaughter. I didn't hear a bunch of shut your mouth and know your role. In fact, it was like, just go out there and play. Oh, wait a minute, that's what you're saying. That's all you matter for. So if DeShaun Watson, who I think could end up in New England strictly because money doesn't matter, compensation doesn't matter to the Texans because of their culture. If you're inside of a cult and your family wants to come get you out, or better yet, you want to get yourself out, why wouldn't you speak up? I've said here, I think the Texans will hold on to him like I'm still holding on to that Mega Millions ticket that, you know, I had the one Powerball number and like the two numbers. I still have it on my refrigerator. I haven't cashed it in yet. Even if it's like $4, it's still on my refrigerator. But this is a human being who recognizes a culture that's out of hand. But why wouldn't a culture that says, number one, do your job. Number two, manage expectations. Number three, go all in for team. Because you know what happens after that? They don't run their mouth about the team. Danny kind of broke a seal, you know, like when you go to the package store. You know, everything has to have the state seal on it before, you know, because if it doesn't, then, you know, who knows if it's like up in the hill, Berkshire Hills, grain alcohol. You keep that stuff sealed. You keep it tight. You keep it focused. You don't play around with people's lives and sit here and get irrational, talk about change his diaper. What if DeShaun Jackson said to you, Dick Vermeil, 84 years old, maybe you need to just shut up and change your diaper? Guess what happens? Uproar. Uproar. He's insensitive. Oh, but it's just cool for Dick Vermeil to say that? For Brett Favre, who let's just call it what it is. When he was with the Jets, it's like, bro, get rid of the phone that has the ability to take pictures. Get rid of it. What are you doing? But you know what? Slap on the hand. There was nothing done to Brett Favre for that. It's not fair to female journalists who are trying to cover stories and cover these sports. But yet you can go and tell DeShaun Watson, who has nothing to do with your life, to just shut up, be grateful. You don't make decisions. Yeah, if you're in a bad situation, Brett, like Michael Irvin just said, you played with retirement. I'm going to retire. No, I'm going to come back. I'm going to retire. I'm going to go back. Look what it did to Aaron Rodgers. Coming up, Super Bowl Sunday right around the corner. Let's get some scores. We're going to look at some of these prop bets together too, Dylan, because there are some doozies on here. And we love to think, because a lot of people are on the over for sure. You know, 56.5 is the over under. Like, do they know something? Like, are there like, did they put like sprinklers on the field or something like that we don't know? Because this is going to be a high scoring game. It's WEEI Late Night with KJ. Thanks for hanging out.
You know you're damn